Today I'm about to show you a clip from my free e-course. It's a 3-video e-course that you can register for today, where we are learning about the muscle that is really being built today in motherhood and how we can go about that and do that with as much beauty, sovereignty, and connection and joy as possible. I am so excited for you guys to check this course out. I'm going to show you a preview in the upcoming video so you can get a taste of what it's like. But go ahead and find the registration link below. Again, this is a completely free offering. I'm so honored to be presenting it to you today. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the Motherhood Muscle e-course. We're going to talk about rhythms. We are going to talk about this incredible opportunity we have to deepen into the rhythms with Mother Earth as one of the most incredible ways to show up as a mother. It's kind of profound, actually. It was for me when I realized the importance of this. So the first step is becoming increasingly familiar with the rhythms of Earth. I know you guys are already on that path, and recognizing yourself as Earth. We cannot become divided or separated from her. We come from her. Okay, so that's more of a reminder. I know many of you who are finding me here, you're aware of that, right? There's an awareness there, right? So but simultaneously, we're having this relationship with the earth. We are also in relationship with higher self, with highest source. You know, these our cosmic guides, right? But it's really, I have found in the journey of motherhood, the relationship with earth, it sort of comes first for me because of how much Mother Earth is a teacher to my children as well. Now, we dive very deeply into that in the Conscious Motherhood course about utilizing the earth, you know, the consciousness of the earth as one of your greatest allies in motherhood. Like, think of it as like she's a grandma, you know? She's like the third grandma to the kids. Right? She is a part of the family. We spend time with her. We talk about her, like capital H, you know? So we go into that, but how do you become increasingly devoted and increasingly familiar with both of these relationships going on simultaneously, right? Our relationship to the earth and the earth plane, everything in our physical lives, food, the kids' toys, like all of these things, right? It's very much earth plane. It's related to her. It's in relationship to her. The physical earth plane, the physicality stuff that builds our home temples, right? It's from her. It's all from her. So when I'm talking about like, how do we become increasingly familiar with both our relationship with the earth and our relationship to our consciousness journey, I am talking about like the actual like physical things too. You're in a relationship with the material world and with the consciousness of Gaia. That's all like really kind of similar, right? The way we make purchasing decisions, the food that we decide to introduce our family to, all of that, it's in a communion with her, with Gaia, right? And we are resourcing like our I almost want to say like superpower strength, right? From higher self, because those downloads are really important too, because it's going to help guide us here, right? That's like the navigation in the earth plane. Excuse me. So, developing rituals and rhythms that reflect the celebration of life is one of the crowning responsibilities of motherhood. I love that. I'm going to read that one more time. Developing rituals and rhythms that reflect the celebration of life is one of the crowning responsibilities of motherhood. In our family, we talk about responsibility as a good thing. That's good stuff. Responsibility is good stuff. That's good stuff. We really do. We talk about that a lot. This is a sacred service to ourselves and our families. You are the leader. We talked about that in the last course, so I'm happy to still see you here, that you resonate with the idea that as the mother, you are the leader. So that no matter what is happening in the outer world, whatever is happening in our inner world, it is soothed with the consistency we have created in the rhythms of our lives. This idea of creating rhythms is like, it's like the crowning thing. It's like, this is when I realized I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. If I've got rhythms, I can do this. Now, this might seem entirely too simplistic, but for those of you who have attempted what I am talking about here, you understand there is a high level of self-discipline and mastery that is involved with not only the planning and the visioning of such rhythms in your life, but then the willpower to actually stay consistent with them. It takes a lot of muscle. It takes a lot of trial and more trial and more trial and some error, but then more trial. So I am not claiming to be like the perfect sort of like Waldorf mom over here. That's not it. It's not about a perfectionist clockwork kind of thing, but this requires dedication to keep this going. The balance of constantly pivoting with the evolution of your own consciousness and the consciousness of your children, beckoning, wanting to be witnessed and seen with consistent action of showing up for the agreed upon daily rituals that increase the familiarity with the earth and with source. This takes a creative edge because you're always going to be evolving in the details of how this works, but the consistency of showing up to that evolution is what I'm talking about. When it comes to motherhood, some examples of this would be, these are the things that have worked for us and that they've stuck, okay? Singing the same song before meals, or you could pray out loud together, but we have a song, the same song that we always sing. And I just have to share, I have to take a moment and share one of these moments. Oh my goodness. So we sing the same song, Blessings on the Blossoms, before we sit down and eat. And the other day, Lincoln, my nearly 6-year-old, got her and Isaac a little snack out of the fridge. And I heard them doing this. And they went into the kitchen and they sat at the table and they held hands and they sang that song before they ate, without me being in the room. Like, I was completely in the other room. And oh my God. And it was one of those moments that I just will never forget. And I just felt that moment of victory in motherhood. It was so incredible. So singing the same song before meals, having a daily gratitude practice, having a daily routine of story sharing before bedtime, alternating between 2 breakfasts every other day. So one morning we do oatmeal, the next morning we do coconut yogurt with some fruit or something like that. And it goes every other day, right? Some easy practical things to help the children understand that today, yesterday we ate this, so today we eat that. It's really practical, nice rhythms like that too. Going to music lessons every single Saturday, or whatever, a horse lesson, or every Wednesday, or something like that, right? That one day a week where they go out and do something very special for themselves and develop a very special skill. Making beds in the morning, putting all the toys away before dinner. And every nap time, I chant the same mantra as my little one falls asleep. It's similar to bedtime stories, but when we do nap time, I stick to Sanskrit mantras. So those would be some examples of, that's exactly what I'm talking about with rhythms. They know what to expect, and it soothes the consciousness to be able to slip into what's next very respectfully and very calmly. Right? This is what the children really, really need. The thing about this is that you, Mom, have full responsibility of making these happen and finding the excitement to make them really special. That has been true in my family. I would love to pray for your partners and your community members to assist in making these days or gatherings or special mini festivals that you can host in your home really, really possible for you. But in my experience, I've very much been the leader in making that happen. But maybe there's a friend or someone that you know that you guys could sort of inspire one another, and maybe even like co-host a first day of spring gathering or something like that, just as an example. Mothers are handed the responsibility of invoking the highest love and highest kindness and highest excitement about our relationship with life. Whatever life is presenting us, we have a plan and an opportunity to celebrate the natural world around us, not only for strengthening our own higher self connection, but being a teacher through the embodiment of how we creatively execute upon our responsibilities. So that would point to something like cooking. Children are always watching the way that you do something, not what you are doing exactly, but they're watching what you're doing, but they're really watching the way that you are doing something. They are watching the way that you pay your bills. They are watching the way that you make dinner, the way that you sit down and give yourself time with a book, the way that you do that, the way you spend time with yourself. They are always watching the way that you do that. So when we step into motherhood, that phrase, walking the way, it's like it's being observed all the time, which is why there is this call to let's build some muscle for ourselves first, right? To walk the way in a way we want, that we're aware of, that we're conscious of, but it's that constant presencing that they are always watching. It's so fascinating. In that practice, we come repatterned to enjoy the day-to-day tasks and see them as our conscious reminders to connect with the earth and with our source. That's why rhythms are so, so helpful. This is the beauty way. We can light candles every morning, or, these are the rhythms. These are the rhythms.